So, if I could map out the inside of the fearful avoidance reality as they are starting to really deeply attach to somebody and develop more feelings and a greater sense of vulnerability, one of the biggest themes that I see time and time again is this theme of should I stay or should I go? Now, if you watch this channel frequently, you probably know that fearful avoidants tend to have competing subconscious stored emotional associations tied to the same thing. And I'll make that sound really simple. Fearful avoidants have learned the same thing, being love and attachment, can be really, really good and really, really bad and scary. And it's like they've got programming about one thing that's both hyper positive and hyper negative. And this causes a fearful avoidant to yearn for love, want closeness. And the more they have it, be terrified of it and triggered by it, which causes all of this disorganization and confusion in the way that they attach to others. Hence why you'll also hear fearful avoidance be referred to as the disorganized attachment style or anxious avoidant, exhibiting both their anxious and avoidant side. So, when we unpack this, one of the common themes that I see people ask all the time is should I stay or should I go when I'm having problems in a relationship? Because a certain degree of problems are inevitable, right? There's a certain degree of challenges we will just have to work through, even if we're securely attached, because we're never going to be 100% perfectly aligned with somebody without having to go through things together and hash things out and have deep discussions and have points of contention that we can work through. So, at what point do we stay and push through and have dialogue and use those as opportunities for growth in a relationship? And at what point do we flee? And so, in this video, that's what we are going to cover, the should I stay or should I go? In a short answer, it's neither right away. You don't just automatically stay or leave, but there's really important things that you can focus in on if you are a fearful avoidant attachment style. Step one, and I say this to people time and time again inside PDS, the very first and most important thing to do is check if the things that you are seeing exhibited from your partner that you're considering leaving or the person you're dating, you're considering ending it with. Check to see if those things are non-negotiables. So, for example, I actually saw a lot of people in my practice who would say things like, oh, I really want kids, and my partner really didn't want kids. And I just thought that once he fell in love that he would change, so things like that. If there's a non-negotiable, like that's something that's huge for you. And non-negotiables can be different places you want to live in the world, different morals, values, religions, um, political backgrounds or ideologies. It can be so many different things for different people. For some people, it's eating meat or not eating meat, smoking, not smoking. Some of these things are non-negotiable because of whatever personal programs we have tied to them. So what you have to ask yourself is number one, are the things that I'm seeing non-negotiables in a relationship? Okay. And if that's the case, then you have a really clear answer already. The situation that's not seeming to work out for you is probably not a fit. Number two, if there are just things that are important to me, but not non-negotiables, and I'm not sure if the person is going to show up and meet them, I have to set a deadline. Okay. And what that means is I have to decide what amount of time I am going to put into making this work. Deadlines have to be chosen individually. Okay. So if you've been dating somebody for 6 months or 6 weeks, the deadline is going to be shorter. For example, like if you've been dating for somebody for 6 weeks, maybe you say, I'm going to try for a week to hash this out. 6 months, maybe it's a few weeks, a month, maybe. But if you are with somebody for 25 years and you have young children and, you are financially intertwined and there's this huge history. Obviously, you're going to have a longer or more extended deadline if there's certain things that are just rocky and not necessarily clicking properly. So in that case, you choose a deadline as point number two. Point number three, within that deadline period of time, you put all cylinders have to be firing. Every single thing that you could think of that you could do to improve and impact the relationship, you want to take full accountability for. And ideally, your partner is doing the same thing. You can only control your 50% of the relationship 100% of the way, right? Just like your partner's responsible 100% for their 50% of the relationship, but somebody will show up or they won't. And if I'm going to put everything in for this period of time, let's say you've been together for 5 years and you're like, I'm going to give it the best 6 months I can. And in that 6 month period of time, all of the needs that are not being met, you talk about, you work on expressing your needs in a healthy, positive way. You see your needs through, you depict what your need is very, very clearly. You get rid of all the points of confusion around needs. And maybe we'll do a separate video on that. But you are showing up for your boundaries. You're doing the inner work on your triggers. You're communicating more vulnerably. You are acknowledging and putting effort into meeting your partner's needs as well in the relationship. Like if you are doing all of those things, if you don't see the needle moving in the relationship and you don't see the other person showing up to meet you halfway, you can tell where this is going. It's going to be, okay, well, then I should go, right? Because these things are not working out. I don't like them. My standards are not being met for what I want a relationship to look like and to fulfill. And no matter how much effort I put in, no matter how much I do the work and all that I can within this deadline period of time, if something doesn't shift or change, okay, well, then what you're seeing is what you're going to keep getting, right? And it's very clear. And if that's the case, then you want to work on like healing and removing your fears of leaving a relationship. You can check out the How to Heal from a Breakup course for 7 days for free using the link below too. It's you can get through it for sure in 7 days, and it will help take at least 30 to 50% of the initial sting out of a breakup. Like it helps you get rid of all of the pain points that are causing immediate suffering, and helps you then just be able to say, okay, now I'm uncomfortable and I might have unmet needs, and that can cause some pain, and I can work towards meeting those needs in healthier ways. And that's going to heal the rest of that void from a breakup. But anyways, you can dig into that. It really provides like an immediate ROI on the suffering that you feel, not ROI, but like it removes a lot of that suffering more immediately. And you can do the work, whatever other work you want to be doing to heal, right? And to move forward with your life. But in the vast majority of times, as long as I saw both parties showing up, it doesn't have to be that the other person's like doing the same type of work, but they're following your lead, right? If the person's showing up, what ends up happening instead is both parties are showing up, doing the work, pouring into the relationship, and the relationship transforms and both individuals transform. And it becomes like, hey, we become securely attached together while in the relationship. So either way, you position yourself for a win-win. Either way, you are either growing and transforming and practicing all of those transformative skills with your partner. And if it's not working, you've grown, you've healed, you've become more securely attached, and you feel confident knowing that I did everything I could. I'm clear about my decision. I can walk away guilt and regret free if something's not working for me. And I'm on to leaving space for a new relationship to enter in the future that will fulfill my needs because I'm so clear about them and how to communicate them and how to use all the tools. And your best case scenario, which is, in my opinion, if both parties are doing the work, significantly more likely, is both of you grow and transform together. And I want to say one last thing here that's super important for fearful avoidance. I just wanted to pop in here and let you know we are doing a 7-day free trial to the All Access Membership Pass at PDS, which means you get access to literally everything inside of the school. And this includes the 4 live webinars I do with our students every single week. And on top of that, you get access to all of our different courses. We have over 55 different courses on relationships, communication, boundaries, emotional mastery, guilt and shame, learning your needs, so many different facets that are really important to master our lives and feel really good about our lives going forward. And last but not least, there's a daily community event. We have trained facilitators and coaches who are in there doing that work, showing up to support you on your journey every single day. Please join me on the other side. Come check it out. See if it's a fit for you. I'd love to see you there. Go ahead and sign up by clicking the link in the description box below. Time and time again, when I would work with fearful avoidance in my practice, I would notice this big theme of them leaving something before communicating. And that's such an important checkpoint. If you are an FA and you're flip-flopping, should I stay? Should I go? I don't know. I'm not sure. Going back and forth. Check the things that are bothering me. Am I actually communicating about them? And am I doing so in a few key ways? Am I communicating clearly? Because sometimes we say, oh, I want support, but that's not clear enough. Like, what is, I want support through more quality time together, right? And spending more time together, going for date nights, or I want support through encouragement and words of affirmation. Like, we have to be clear about how we receive support. We have to even, like, number 2, paint a picture of what that looks like. And number 3, we have to see our needs through at the beginning. Oftentimes people don't realize, because they have their own sets of programming, exactly what you need all the time. So communicating consistently lets somebody know you on that level more deeply. So just check in with those 3 things. I might make a separate video just to unpack those in more detail, but Are you checked in? Are you communicating? Or is the flip flopping just you feeling attached, enjoying being attached and having feelings for somebody, and then having that coping mechanism that kicks in and says, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to get too close. And you have that sort of knee jerk reaction that's actually representative of you not getting your needs met and then feeling trapped, not because it's not possible for you to get your needs met, but because you're not communicating about them and not consciously aware that that's the work you should be doing. So, really important thing to consider. Anyways, that's it for this video. Just some important tips to pay attention to if you find yourself flip-flopping and what you can do about it. And thank you so much for watching. If you got value from this video, if you're enjoying this channel, please consider subscribing. I literally put out daily content for the subscribers on here. You can definitely check out any of the courses and PDFs using the link below for free for 7 days, especially how to heal from a breakup if you're considering leaving a relationship, and especially the needs and communication courses if you are feeling stuck on the communication part. And you'll literally get so much insight in under 7 days that will help you be able to bring it into your relationship and see that needle move. Or see that if somebody's not willing to show up, you're getting clearer and clearer on where you stand. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in future videos.